Splash page.
Do it again.
Splash page. Freddy
Perfect.
versus Jason Ash.
I'm good.
Now put the glove on and do it.
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love The Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friends are going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, you're not seeing double. We're doing another broadcast. You're watching Splash Pages powered by the Dorkin Podcast Network. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard. And as always, Velvet Joker. How's it going, my friend?
It's going great. Glad to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Talking about classic movie monsters of our youth.
Oh, and we can see you a lot better and hear you a lot better. What's going on?
Yeah, well, before we were doing it all off my phone, and now we got a laptop. What?
So happy. Drew, my friend, how's it going?
Oh, it's good. I'm really glad to be here. Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. Amazing. Love this. And groovy.
Groovy. Nice.
Groovy.
And Chris, my friend, how's it going, my friend? And I said friend twice. I'm tired.
Double friend.
Fantastic, Leo. Can't wait to talk about this 6-issue miniseries from mid 2000s.
Yeah, 2007 through 2008. And I apologize. It's been a long week, and it's only Tuesday. My brain is mush. But I'm just gonna, since we have 6 issues to go by, I'm gonna do a mini Sophia. So picture it, Sicily. 2007, 2008, all the stuff we care about. Best movies for 2007: Spider-Man 3, Shrek the Third. Okay, so Spider-Man 3 made 336 million. Shrek the Third made 322 million.
It's not a billion.
Oh, billion?
It's not a billion.
Oh, it's not a billion. No. Transformers was they're all around 300 million. Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, 2008, because this also came out in 2008. The Dark Knight, here we go. Iron Man, Indiana Jones, and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Hancock and Wally.
The Dark Knight came out in 2000. Yeah, the Dark Knight came out in 2008, but Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007.
So what I'm hearing is there were things that lift us up, but there were also things that let us down.
Yes.
Right.
Well said.
Now, a lot of people didn't like Hancock, but I liked Hancock very much.
Yeah, and 2008 was the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk was number 14 on the list, right after Mamma Mia and the Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah.
Mamma Mia.
Chronicles of Narnia.
Holy crap! And Tropic Thunder is number 19.
Yes, love that movie.
Yes.
It was a good time, but also, correct me if I'm wrong, around that time we're seeing more and more of the horror remakes that are really kind of cropping up. It started off slow and then it started really picking up, and a good majority of those went to the bargain bin where they belong.
Yeah, the Mummy was that year.
Are you sure?
No.
The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon.
Okay, the third Mummy movie, then the shitty one.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I was like the Tom Cruise one, like the one where we wasted.
No, that was 10 years later in 2017.
Oh, okay. I was like the one where we wasted a really good mummy in a really awful movie. Yeah.
It's funny, when I had Jason Blum on my show, he said that he would love to do a Mummy movie, but he's really going to distance himself from that 2017 movie before he puts a Mummy movie in theaters with his studio's logo attached to it.
I still remember that the funniest thing was when they had the trailer, and the only thing that you could hear was the Tom Cruise,
Oh, was without the music? Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was, and then that got memed everywhere because the internet just takes something you love and will beat you with it, like Jason with his sleeping bag.
Just real quick, top comics of 2007, 2008. So 2007 top comics sold was Captain America, Civil War number 7, Civil War number 6, Thor number 1.
Okay.
And Dark Tower Gunslinger Born number 1. In 2008, the top 5 comics sold was all Secret Invasion 1 through 5.
It was a good series.
Yeah.
It
Plus show.
It only got stopped by Uncanny X-Men for number 7. Uncanny X-Men number 500.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's when they moved to San Francisco. No, I've read all of those except the Gunslinger one. Not saying I don't love that, but still. Good times. Good times for comics.
Yes. So yeah, that's 2007, 2008. Drew, why don't you tell us about this comic?
I will, but I first need to ask everybody. Leo, no, don't focus on me. No, this is okay. I have to ask before we start, who was everybody rooting for in this fight? Because I have to be honest with you, I was split between rooting for Jason and rooting for Ash.
Oh, Ash all the way for me.
Ash.
Freddy.
So, yeah, there's always that one guy.
Yeah. Rooting for Freddy's like rooting for a Catholic priest.
There's like in that first movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, he has this thing where he takes a meatball off a pizza and he goes, "Oh, Rick, what a meatball!" And I'm pretty sure that is Johnny Depp. He was the meatball.
Yeah, everyone saw the new Jason movie in theaters this past weekend, right? Halloween Kills, starring Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, that's basically what that was.
Yeah.
So, and it's also funny because I will always say that Freddy vs. Jason is one of my favorites, simply because it was never winning any awards. It's just a fun, dumb movie. Like it really does follow the formula of a slasher film pretty easily. A lot of death, big amounts of blood, characters that are just so dumb that you're like, I know you're gonna die, and I'm excited. And then the big fights, and I don't know which one I love more. It's when they're in the dream or when they're at Camp Crystal Lake and like they are going at each other. Like, oh my God. Like it was like that to me. I was more satisfied with that than waiting almost 2 hours just for Batman and Superman to spend 10 minutes fighting.
Freddy versus Jason's, Kane Hodder's favorite movie.
yeah. We'll get into that in a minute. So I guess before we're going to start, when I heard that there was a sequel, because they were planning an original, and Chris, I'm sure you know this, and I'm sure you two above me know this as well, that they were planning the sequel with Ash, and they were going to have Bruce Campbell in, but negotiations fell through because I don't know if it was Raimi or Bruce Campbell, who would have, of course, equal say in the character, that they wanted Ash to win. And of course, horror movies don't really like contesting a clear victory. Even with Freddy vs. Jason, personally, I feel that Jason clearly won. But of course, at the end, you see Freddy doing the wink because, we can't just let one person die or win. So the negotiations fell through.
Documentary and the Freddy documentary, by the way, go into great detail with the interviews with Jeff Katz, who was the writer of the comic book, who was the guy at New Line that got Freddy vs. Jason done finally after 14 years and 17 goddamn scripts. Yeah. I'm sorry, not 14 years, 10 years and 17 goddamn scripts to get Freddy vs. Jason made. Then he wanted to do Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash.
Right.
But as you said, the negotiations fell through. Sam Raimi kind of pulled out of it. Sam Raimi was getting a little high in his credibility because he had just come off the success of Spider-Man 2. So he was a hot commodity. And he does own the rights to Ash and the Evil Dead. That's he might not own his movies, but just like, Kevin Smith owns Jay and Silent Bob.
Right.
He's got say on whether or not that will ever actually happen. And it unfortunately didn't happen, but Jeff went to Wildstorm with this comic book.
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty great because especially he has James Kuhoric, who's the writer, who's done a lot of horror comics. He did Army of Darkness and one of my favorite arcs, which is Ashes to Ashes. He didn't do that. That was Nick Barcel. But he did Hail to the King. He did the crossover with Reanimator. So he clearly knows his horror. And he also did work with the Hatchet series. There was a Hatchet comic series in around 2000, I would say 17, that was tie into the film. So he knows his horror. So to have him there was great. And then you had Jason Craig, who I admittedly have never seen before, really had that great aesthetic for Jason and Freddy and whatnot. Like, I love the artwork in this. But yeah, so the synopsis is fairly simple, everybody. If you've watched Freddy versus Jason, great. You're going to love this. If you haven't, you can still read the comic. That's important. This takes place 5 years after the events of Freddy vs. Jason, which would make it then 16 years after Army of Darkness. You have the Springwood slasher, aka Freddy Krueger, or as Ash puts it, the guy wearing a horrible Bing Crosby sweater, is still alive because, of course, Freddy can never die, but he's trapped in Jason's brain. So in order to get out, he basically sends Jason on a mission to get the Necronomicon, which is, of course, at his mom's old house. But, of course, with the Necronomicon, we're going to get Ashley J. Williams from Housewares because, of course, there's an S-Mart now where Camp Crystal Lake was, bringing forth a huge conflict that literally essentially ties in Evil Dead, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street all in one collective universe for one big freaking battle that is just fucking fun. So let's talk about it, guys.
Cool.
Ash has the best lines in the entire comic book.
He totally does. I will give him that.
He
Also,
Jason,
Freddy had some good ones too.
I don't know. I think Ash just has like the better written ones that they decided to give to him because they were really loving the fact that this could have been a film, and Bruce delivering these lines would have been great, whereas Robert delivering them would have gone back to that Freddy. A lot of people don't honestly really like the
monologuing
Freddy. They want the horror Freddy, and in Freddy versus Jason, we did get the horror Freddy, but there's a great line. Ash says that the Jason was beaten with the ugly stick instead of the other way around.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, which is great, is like, and this is a testament to Jason Craig, we just got a summary of the movie in just one oversized splash page. That's the name of the show. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. You got that, and it's great and beautiful, and God, Pamela Voorhees, that face. But the great thing is that you have here in the beginning, you have Will and Laurie, who are the film's only survivors, come back. And it's a classic horror mistake, which I don't ever really understand. Like, you beat evil. Shouldn't you stay away? Like, yes, Ash has always been, I'm kind of stuck in a loop because this is my destiny. But you got away. Why are you coming back? And we beat them. I don't think they're dead, but don't worry, our love will protect us. Bitch, please. He's got a machete.
She thought she was the chosen one. She was mistaken.
I guess so.
She was ready to bet on red again.
I guess so. What I also find funny is I didn't realize is that Jason Ritter, who was Will, is John Ritter's son, and I have no idea how that completely went right over my head. I feel like it's the 7 degrees of horror, because I'm thinking John Ritter, who was also in the Tim Curry It, and I'm just like, I can't. I was like,
and let's not forget Hero at Large.
That's true. And
wasn't there a one movie where they were stuck in a TV as well?
Yeah, Remote Control.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great movie. But so, what I love is that you basically dispose of and it's in true horror fashion, because I think they did something like that in Nightmare 4, where you saw characters who survived and ended up getting killed by Freddy. So we're following people who, again, they know the genre, they know the tropes, they play with them, but it's still different. Like, Laurie was sympathetic to Jason, you know what I mean? And here she's forgotten everything and is just like, I'm gonna try to cut him up with a buzzsaw, and I'm just like who just leaves their tools like this? Like, I'm just saying, this is just horrible construction work. Like, who just I'm just gonna leave the shed unlocked, just let anybody come in, play with the buzzsaw and everything.
It is out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
But then I was like, it's Camp Crystal Lake. I was like, yeah, nobody cares. It's a land of no logic. But this is like what, the first 7 pages, we already have 2 kills like that.
Yeah, pretty gruesome ones too.
Yeah.
And then over on the right, when I first saw that open in the comic, and again, this was a new read for me. You guys have read this. I was like, no, did they really? And then halfway through the series, I was like, okay, I feel this. I need this.
Yeah, right. And I agree with Chris. I agree with you. Like, I heard Bruce's voice reading the narration, and I was like, yeah, because it would have. It really did that Army of Darkness narration style. I was like, yeah, that does make it a little better versus, if Freddy was doing his Freddy vs. Jason, how would he say it? But I got out, but they forgot about me. I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, this doesn't have the same gravitas as Ash just calling everybody out.
Do you think the worst thing in the whole comic book is Freddy having sex with Jason's mom?
I mean, we didn't need that.
No, we didn't.
We really didn't. I was just like, oh boy, oh my, But yeah, so you get Laurie gone like that, and then another great thing is we see something that I don't think we've seen since Friday Part 2. We see the house with the shrine.
Yeah. That's only a Friday Part 2 thing. People kept saying, oh, it's another film. I'm like, no, it really wasn't.
Exactly. And it's funny because I've had that conversation with some other horror fans, because some people would say that the house that was in the dream in Freddy vs. Jason is the same. It's like, no, it's not the same place.
No. That house of Jason will never appear again for whatever reason. And I've watched 2 and 3 several times, and I've listened to the commentary, and they never ever talk about why the hell was the house not reused for 3. Was it destroyed because it was just this ransacked looking set or whatever? It's not a set. It was actually a shack in the woods, but the way it looked, probably a storm came through New Jersey, knocked it right over, and that was the end of it.
Right.
I just assume, but nobody ever talks about it. Even Amy Steele, met Amy Steele at conventions a couple times, and I asked her, do you know why they never used it in Part 3? Because I know she was going to be back in Part 3, but they decided not to. And she was like, I have been asked that so many times, and I've never known. And I don't remember who the director of Part 3 was. So,
yeah. But, and then.
By the way, Friday the 13th on the new episodes of the Movies That Made Us.
Yes, it is. And
the Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Nightmare on Elm Street, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I just watched. I've watched all 3 of them, guys, and all of our viewers, everyone. Movies That Made Us. This is seasonal. Please watch it. You will appreciate all of these movies so much, especially the people that made them, because goddamn, against all odds, magic happened. And it was
what I don't understand though about the Movies That Made Us. This is a real side tangent. Is why the hell Coming to America is included with Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Aliens, Halloween, and RoboCop. Coming to America in that group doesn't make any sense. It's like, guys, you should have done like Evil Dead, or Poltergeist or something. You're doing all these horror movies or in one sci-fi action-packed movie. RoboCop can fit into those films perfectly. But Coming to America,
okay. I need to ask, and I haven't seen the latest set yet. Is did they bring back the narrator?
Yeah.
Because
they changed narrators for like the Back to the Future one.
The Back to the Future episode.
Well, that batch of movies. It was like 3 or something like that came out with Back to the Future.
Okay. Yeah, that's
some British guy.
Interesting. All right.
Oh, I didn't. He sounds American in this. Yeah, so it must be the original guy.
So again, and that's just back to this. Like, you see the tropes, and it's just so great. Like that the attention to detail, and then of course, I'm a sucker for Christmas movies. So just to see this dumbass Jack Napery for all these pieces, I was like, it's just like watching horror. It was like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Like, I couldn't wait for this manager to die. I was like,
oh yeah, the manager, you felt it instantly. The moment he was on the first panel, you're like, oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah. Ash's lines were the best for him. Was like, he's just writing down this thing. Yep, and a needle dick with a clipboard, priceless. You know, and then like this here, like this is the thing I love about this is that it's so well paced. Like Chris, I agree with you. This was adapted, it wouldn't be too difficult to do because it's got that nice cinematic feel. You know,
No, and then Bruce Campbell talked about this at Rock and Shock as well when he was here for the final Rock and Shock, talking about the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Oh, nice. But
yeah, he would have loved to have done it, and you know, and of course, years later we would get 3 seasons of an Ash TV show, which was nice. And then next year we're supposed to be getting we're supposed to be getting Rise of the Evil Dead.
Sweet, but yeah, I could have done without this. I mean, especially like it was like why does Miss Voorhees clearly have like a C cup? Like I did not need that.
Yeah, that was
yeah. So let's just keep going. Let's just Leo yeah. So
get off that page with the C cups.
Exactly. And then we have Ash, and I'm like, yes, you know, like such good setup. But of course,
and then we move over to some D cups in the next issue. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
I hate you so much. Keep going. Next. But also, can we just give credit that while I'm a so fan of J. Scott Campbell at times, these covers that he did were just fucking great. The 3 connecting ones. Although,
you have Eric Powell of the Goon fame doing the rest of them.
Yeah, that was just as great too. So I was like, wow, you have J. Scott, and then you have Eric Powell. You know, who the true horror. Like I was like, perfect.
Are there alternate covers, or they're just the one cover, with the exception of the first one, which has the 3 interlocking covers?
I think it's just the first 2. So I think it's the 3 interlocking covers, and then it's the alternates.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for me, it was just I bought whatever was there. I didn't really.
This is a good time for Wildstorm because they just published a Freddy, Jason, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre like series of comics. They only did like 12 issues per each character, and now we seem to be in a return to Warner Brothers doing horror again because they just finished the Conjuring miniseries.
Well, I think that itself, and I think you guys might agree with me. It's just like horror movies. There's that oversaturation, and then you get too much. They don't sell, so then you take that break, and then when it's like horror comes back, literally like the evil, they're like, okay, we can go back in the water. I was like, yeah, you know, why not? We've seen Jaws. Water's safe for at least 20 minutes.
Jaws, the comic book coming soon.
I hate you both. And then
just real quick, Conjuring the miniseries, a comic?
Yeah. Leo, do you go to the comic book store?
He doesn't.
I have a pull list that I need to go pick up, but yeah, I haven't been.
Okay, so yeah, there is a prequel comic book series to the last film. It's The Conjuring. I forgot the subtitle, but it's basically, long story short, is about a girl who goes to college. She's a loner. She doesn't have any friends. She's a closet lesbian. A ghost is like, hey, you're always going to be this, like, you know, person nobody wants because you're gay and you should kill yourself and kill people. And it makes her go schizo. And I guess this is one of the Conjuring stories. The backup in every issue is a Conjuring room antique, like one of the objects they would capture. So an origin story about that. Tim Seeley did one about the monkey that claps its hands together. All the covers, by the way, are by a guy Drew and I interviewed, which we tried to do on Splash Pages, Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is a part of a new line of horror comics separate from Black Label, which is doing horror comics already. So this is Warner horror, DC horror, but they're going to tie into media properties, except for the second one isn't. It's its own standalone thing of no media tie-in, but they're apparently also going to be doing a Paranormal Activity or whatever Warner Brothers happens to own for horror. Because Warner Brothers doesn't own a lot of various horror stuff as much as they used to, because Freddy is now back with the Wes Craven family, and they're not doing anything with him right now. They're not like taking offers or interests to stuff. They own Freddy. That's it. That's over. Jason, he's in freaking litigation hell because daddies can't get along and share him. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is with somebody else again. So I don't know what properties of horror Warner Brothers owns these days.
Yeah.
Except for The Conjuring.
See, kids, that's the one evil that true evil can't fight: litigation and copyrights.
Yeah.
But
Actually, I forgot. Victor Miller did win the lawsuit. That was announced.
oh, he did. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's funny. So
I think it's over. I think it's finally over.
We'll see. So you have Ash, being Ash. I feel like at some point I want us to all say what our favorite kills are. This one was just, again, it's just the third page, and we already see Jason just. I'm just like, yeah. I was like, with his strength, I was like, yes, we are just playthings.
I mean, obviously for me, that'll be second breakfast.
Ooh, what was that?
Was our fan?
I knew it.
That was our fan. No, that was someone sending a voice text.
Oh,
nice. Second, yes, that's Lord of the Rings. Second breakfast. Thank you.
Yes, yes, that is what. Yes, she calls second. Yes. Moving on.
So you have that, and then we have the one thing that I have never liked of the Friday the 13th trilogy is that anytime there's a police officer, they do nothing.
Stupid.
And everything is, oh well, we don't like outsiders, or always happen to be there at the wrong time. And Jason Voorhees has killed so many people, but he's not real. It's just some masked idiot. And I'm just like, and I'm just like,
idiot deputy in the original Nightmare on Elm Street is just like, everything will be okay, and Nancy is screaming, "Get my father, you fucking idiot!" or "You son of a bitch!" Whatever she swears at him, or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I should get the sheriff."
Yeah, exactly. Like useless. Like
yeah,
up.
like Dad is
it's like real life.
The only good cop in the Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th movie seems to have been Nancy's dad, because he was responsible for frickin' Freddy's death to begin with. So
Right.
he is all into that like Legend of Freddy shit, like before her even drunk ass mother can even accept it.
Yeah, but with Jason, I was just like, the second that, like, even like the one where he's just ripping through. Oh yeah, it's true. Event Horizon, right? But even when he's just ripping through a police station, I'm just like, all right. I was like, yep, that's just some crazy, super strong, supernatural idiot. I was like, yep. And then it's just so funny seeing Ash, and then you're like, he really is like a kind of an old man, teaming up with kids, and you're like, yeah, he's not a spring chicken anymore. Like, this guy's getting old, and you're like, oh my God, what? Like I made me question my mortality, gentlemen.
They do address something great in this series, but the fact that Jason is a walking corpse, and at some point the meat just starts falling apart.
Yeah, like it's inevitable. I mean, especially he's in water. Like, water would wear him down. Like, right? Like, but I have to be honest with you. Like, this scene of him sitting with Freddy as a kid, like, creeped me out a little. I was like, oh yeah, Jason's real form. Like, yeah, he's a really deformed child. Which, it's fine. And it's funny because Tom Savini in the movies that made us, they addressed that he knew somebody when he based the look of Jason, popping out and whatnot. He knew someone who had like that inverted eyebrows. So
really?
Well, not the eyebrows, but the eyes, the way Jason's eyes are. He knew somebody like that. So that's what he based some of it on. And they
right, because Betsy Palmer didn't understand what the hell a mongoloid was. She was like, a what?
Well,
but I know this is totally wrong, but in grade school, there was this one kid, and unfortunately his parents didn't treat him well, and his father shaved off his eyebrows for punishment.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, he had the funky looking bulges above his,
Poor guy didn't have enough problems, and he had to have no eyebrows.
Yeah. He just looked surprised the whole time. You couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
Parenting punishments were very different back in our day.
Yep. So, what I like is that Freddy claims like he's trying to help Jason, but it's just a manipulation. But again, Jason is just apparently too dumb to kind of realize. The
biggest problem in this story, by the way, is Freddy. He's written too ridiculous. He's written like they ham the hell out of him in this entire story. This one and the sequel. It's some of the worst Freddy writing ever. Ash is on par. Jason is not hard to write. He just doesn't talk. It's like writing Snake Eyes. You just don't write Snake Eyes to talk. Ash is as jackassy as he is in the show or the movies.
Right.
But Freddy is the Freddy from the Freddy's Dead, where it was just ridiculous. Now I'm playing with power. Oh.
Yeah, it really bothered me that the only sort of burn that he could get going at Jason was he just be like, "Oh, and your rotted brain," and like every other word was like, "Oh, your rotted brain" or your diminutive brain. I'm like, come on, bro, is that all you got?
Well, yeah, because he was short, so he's got to compensate for something. But this is definitely one of my like top 3 favorite kills. Like he just slaughters the fuck out of these carolers. And you're like, God damn! Like,
oh yeah, the 3 heads on the ground. It was very cool. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's really over the top ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think any of the Friday the 13th movies until we got to Jason in Space, which then is copied in Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, sorry, not Jason Goes to Hell. Freddy versus Jason. You look at the Friday the 13th movies. Yeah, Jason does kill people, but they're still on the lines of like Michael Myers. It's like in the later entries, like maybe Jason Takes Manhattan and in Space, it's just over the top brutality just to get butts and seats in the theaters.
Right. Totally
was that the Busta Rhymes one?
No, Busta Rhymes was only ever in the shitty ass Halloween Resurrection, which we will never speak of again. Thank you very much. That has been completely retconned, destroyed. And in my opinion, that series ended with H2O when she chopped his head off. Goodbye, the end. Cue Rob Zombie's remakes.
Dear God. Right. So moving on.
Dead girl.
And then, of course, you have Ash. Being Ash is always a sucker for a pretty face, and then he gets played. This entire car, I was like, you're all dead. Especially the jackass behind the wheel. I was like, oh, you are one of those where it's a pleasure to watch you die, sir.
Also, this thing with Ash being this like womanizer, chasing anything, with a skirt on attitude. Watch Evil Dead. He has a girlfriend. Watch Evil Dead 2. He has a girlfriend and pretty much ignores the new woman who shows up in the movie. Army of Darkness. Yeah, it's the princess. Why wouldn't he go after the princess? But this whole like Ash is a womanizer, will fuck anything, with tits attitude is more the television show, but this came out way before the TV series did. And I feel like the TV series definitely copied a lot of Ash's like womanizing, I gotta fuck everything that moves attitude, like he's Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. Because in none of the movies is he like this horn dog. He's not like banging chicks left and right. Again, he's got 2 solid girlfriends, and whether you count the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 being in the same continuity or not is irrelevant. The TV series says they're the same continuity, by the way, just a time shift happened. He's not Don Juan, like he's not a tomcat.
Right.
But this series and all of the Army of Darkness comic books from Dynamite, he is just like horny as fuck.
Yeah, totally.
And they did that in the TV series a lot. I mean, he was banging chicks left and right on that TV show if he wasn't trying to get into Kelly's pants, which was the main female character.
Well, sex sells, so.
Yeah. Indeed it does. But moving on, and then you have just, of course, we go back to the old Voorhees house. This I loved, this little nod to Evil Dead, which it's always the fruit cellar. Why is it always the rotted part of the fruit cellar? And then just while he's doing this, just again, Jason with the brutal kills, which is what we've come to expect. Like, God damn, man.
Ash in a leather jacket too, by the way, kicks ass.
Oh, absolutely. Like I was like, that is a great new addition. Like
that's a good look. It's the the blue shirt and his traditional blue shirt, and then he's got his chainsaw. He looks like a badass in the black leather jacket.
Yeah, it's a mature
we've never seen that in the movies or the TV show.
I would love to see that at a convention. I like, not that I don't love Army of Darkness Ash or even Evil Dead 2 or I mean, I've never seen Evil Dead Ash because he's kind of a wuss in the first one. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
he's as much as was in the TV show. He was constantly like a
I know
Scooby Doo kind of character.
Yeah, but it still was great. But yeah, this is the first time he's facing Jason, and I just love that he's just like, again, he's so used to blowing away deadites with one big shot of that, and he's like, shit, this didn't work. He just runs to the car, and the car isn't working, and you got that little S-Mart keychain on there. It was just like Ash is just perpetually surviving an oh shit moment every time.
Oh shit, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, exactly. And then just look at Jason, just so
I was just going to say I love how they also acknowledged Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
That doesn't
but here's the thing: they're only allowed to. Okay, so Wildstorm's. Notice the other company below is Dynamite. Dynamite has the right to produce Army of Darkness comic books. They don't have the rights to produce Evil Dead comics. The Evil Dead comics are with a different copyright. The reason why is Army of Darkness is from Universal Studios. Evil Dead is whoever happens to have the rights these days, owns the rights these days. I don't know who it is. So there is a big disconnect, and it's always going to be Army of Darkness references. And since Army of Darkness does include the origin of the Evil Dead, they can reference it, but we're not going to be mentioning like Linda or all that other stuff that happened or whatever, all those other characters. It's going to be Army of Darkness. And that's why a lot of these comics are called Army of Darkness versus the Marvel Zombies, or Army of Darkness versus Xena, which they've done. They reveal that Telecus is the ancestor of Ash in that comic book. Telecus was the thief played by Bruce Campbell. But this was one of the rare times they could actually just use Ash. That was okay. That was a license thing. Otherwise, it would have been called Freddy versus Jason versus Army of Darkness.
Good to know. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you, Dr. Chris. So, and then we're moving on to now this. And I was just like, oh, not the car, Jason, not the car. The 1973 Oldsmobile. I was like, oh man, but it's so funny.
It'll show up in another movie somewhere.
I know, but it's also so funny because I felt like Jason throwing the machete was very much kind of like a nod to the 3D. Friday 13.
Yeah, that car could show up in Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange could
there you go.
But just that car and driving it.
Just like you seeing that, and I'm just like, just imagine someone to be like, nope. And it was just, again, so amusing that yet again, Ash escapes. He's got the book. He has no idea I was like, by now he's like a timeshare in 3 dimensions. I think he made that joke in the book, which I love. They get saved by the kind of female assistant, of course.
Kind of female assistant.
Yeah. And then like, again, and I do agree. I think, was it Rich? You were saying, Rich or Chris, like Freddy was going a little too hard on Jason. Like everything is like this, like you're so dumb. Like what is so difficult? Like, cutting the poor kid's head up. It's like, oh, there's so much space in here. I could probably put a hot tub. And I'm just like, and I was like, yes, because clearly you're winning beauty contests, Mr. Krueger. And then it's funny because Jason literally is a juggernaut. You just point him and just say go, and just you're like, no, it's on him. Like it's basically the formula for Freddy vs. Jason. It was just I can't do this, so I'm gonna have you do my dirty work for me, and then I'll reap the benefit later. And then we have, of course, the obligatory, hey, we're all getting stoned in a van. I'm like, yep, because what year is it?
2000. This is still going to be set in 2003 because that's when the movie came out.
Right. Well, 2000. This, I have to be honest with you, this scene that came up, first things first, I love this. Like, oh, hey, I'm the alpha male. No, I'm the alpha male. And then just, all right, can you guys just chill? Like, there's some real crazy shit out here. This is one of my favorite moments when Jason just goes ham on just some random S-Mart shoppers. Like,
oh, I could use some ham.
Like for me, especially because it just started with this woman This just plump lady who's just like, she just screams his name and she just gets decapitated for it. Like I'm sorry, if that was me, I'm like, okay, we need to leave. That is a zombie.
The carriage kill. Oh my god, that had me.
What?
Right.
The shopping cart?
The shopping cart, yeah.
Yeah, turning the guy into spaghetti. I was like, wow. I also will not lie. Anytime I'm in a department store and I see those little hangers for like toys and stuff, the plastics, I'm like, you could kill somebody with this if you had enough brute force. And I was like, I gotta stop watching. I gotta stop applying horror comics to real life. It is just a depressing thing. Like, look at that. He just I'm like, oh god, and the sound effects too. Like the clip, you can actually feel the plastic. Like, I'm like, oh my god, why?
It's beautiful, so beautiful.
It is. And then I'm sorry. And then when he kills the manager, just with his fucking clipboard, I was like, this, like, I know this isn't a movie, but boy, these kills are just fantastic. Like, come on. Like, I thought the way he killed the manager was like one of my favorite kills from Freddy vs. Jason, when the guy's poking him and he just, my favorite Jason deaths like ever, because it's so subtle.
Jason has a
you trailed off, Chris.
No, I was going to say that writing a Jason comic book, like I said, writing Jason obviously can be easy, but you really got to pump up the dialogue around everyone else around him. I mean, it's like writing a Godzilla comic book, which I don't know if those are successful or not. IDW keeps pumping them out, but they are a lot of chatter and then panels upon panels of just like, you're just flipping pages looking at art of like Godzilla smashing a monster, and then go back to the humans to talk. It's not like the Transformers who are intelligent and can have conversations. But with Jason, it's really, the comics are always just about everyone else but Jason, and Jason just comes in and kills them after getting to know him for like a panel or two.
Oh yeah. Also, it's funny because I was reading this now, and I felt like kind of like how I felt when I was watching Kong versus Godzilla, and I was just like, you know what? In the first battle, very clearly, Kong is winning. Like Godzilla won the first battle, and then Kong came back with the hardcore.
Like
this
Obi-Wan had Vader on the ropes, and then he threw in the fight.
Yep. So like this one, I was like, yeah, there's no contest. Jason wiped the floor with Ash. Like
there's a great one-sheet comic that you could have gotten at Comic-Con. You can easily find it online. Once in a while, Tim will reprint it. It's Jason versus Dexter versus Hack Slash, and it's all in one sheet. And it's Dexter fighting Jason, and then Jason like picking Dexter up and throwing him, and then going in for the kill. And then Cassie and Vlad show up to save Dexter.
That's
which Dexter?
Dexter, like
the show Dexter,
the
serial killer.
Okay.
Not the person you remind me of sometimes.
So they're looking for the they basically at the end of the comic strip, the three of them team up to fight Jason, and that's it. It's just a one sheet like Sunday morning comic strip. And everyone's asked Tim, you got to do that. And he's like, I don't own the rights to these characters. This is like one-off thing, Yeah. And of course, they've had Cassie. They've had Army of Darkness versus Hack without Vlad. This is after Vlad was killed.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Chris, I've read almost everything. I'm just getting the crossovers. Oh my god, what a great read! Hack Slash.
Yeah, we're finishing up series volume 2. Tim Seeley is coming back on the show with us to talk about the final of volume 2, and then we're going to jump into the aforementioned Ash Cassie crossover. Which, by the way, Ash is the second person Cassie would sleep with.
True.
Yeah, she cheats on her girlfriend with Ash.
Yeah, but they're not sure it's canonical. But guys, that's a story for another time. So what I also found was amazing is that this scene reminded me, because I finally watched all of the Hatchet movies. This reminded me of when Victor Crowley was split in half by his own chainsaw, and then that, of course, is played by Kane Hodder, who would typically be associated with Jason. So just like the and then just like, but again, while this was a great first match, I think we all can agree the winner is clearly Jason. Like,
oh, totally.
He wiped
and
the
all
floor
these
with Ash.
film series that keep going back and retconning the last several dozen films. I mean, the Leatherface is about to do it. There's another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie coming out that's going to be directly connected to the original, ignoring all the sequels, remakes, and whatever else you want to think of.
Right.
Jason, obviously, his rights have been tied up in court or whatever, but I'm sure it's something they would love to do, to go back to the original movie with or without Jason, or do Jason, with the bag, it's a direct sequel to the bag, or maybe it's the prequel to the bag, or the original hockey mask where he's not a zombie, or hey, let's do one with Kane Hodder once again if he wants to do it. And it's the same thing everyone keeps asking. Oh, they got to do one where it's a direct sequel to the original Nightmare on Elm Street with Robert and Heather. What if Heather's like, the age she is now, so it's like 50 years later, the 40th anniversary or something like that. It's like, yeah, that's if Robert wants to get into that makeup and do that again and is pushing into 70.
Yeah, I really think that ship has sailed. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think you agree. But this image here with Freddy kind of like nuzzling the Necronomicon and Jason in the background, if it wasn't for the speech bubbles, I would say that would be a really great poster. Like just the imagery alone is just fantastic. And
the only reason the Necronomicon got into Jason Goes to Hell was they were filming Jason Goes to Hell right next door to Army of Darkness. And they just walked right over, and Adam asked, hey, can we borrow that for this?
Well, yeah, but that's also, but there's always that Easter egg thing. Like, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, I'm sure you did, that in Evil Dead 2, you see Freddy's glove on the back of the tool shed that Ash uses to kill the demon head Linda and whatnot. And that was the original glove that they used. And I seem to recall, that was the original glove. And I seem to recall
that
got
was stolen in part 3 by the kids who got on the set as a grips or whatever. To this day, to this very day, that glove has still never been found. So if those kids, I don't mean children, I'm probably thinking like teens or 20-something-year-olds are still alive. The original glove to the Nightmare on Elm Street is still out there somewhere in someone's collection.
That's great.
Oh yeah, it's on the black market somewhere.
Yeah,
it's probably on the dark web. Let's all go to the dark web, see if we can find it.
Yeah, I'll
give you darkweb.com.
It was a movie where people were doing what we're doing, and we go to the dark web. I think it was called the dark web.
Yeah, Chris, I'll make sure to do that. And with that 800 that you want for that Punisher Spider-Man.
Oh my God, I'm not even joking. Yeah, there's a guy on a group I'm on. He's like, he wants 1,000, but he'll take offers. I said, how about 800? He's like, maybe, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I need $800. I can own a 9.0, the first appearance of the Punisher.
That's crazy. But back to this, I mean, the idea that Freddy actually honored his agreement and gave Jason brains is probably now, like, I was like, yeah, I think I'm a little bit more scared of Jason with some intelligence now versus you.
Doesn't that happen in the next one though? That happened in this?
Yeah, that happened in this, but he got more in the second one, but we'll get to that another time, guys.
Okay.
And for me, the fact that we always come back to Ash has 2 of his greatest failures. The first is he had to kill Linda, and then the second that he had to cut off his own hand. And the fact that Freddy transformed that, and used it to torture Ash, I thought that was like, wow, what a great moment. And then that wonderful horror ending that's very nightmare-esque of, Freddy laughing and Ash just, give me back my hand. Great. Like the comics really pick some great moments to end their issues on. So it's like you're reading them before everybody can just read a trade paperback. You're like, wow, what the hell? I need to read the next issue. Like, fuck. Back in like 2007, 2008, I'm like, when's the next one? I gotta wait 29 more days. Damn it.
This final shot of Freddy was just amazing.
Yeah, it was drawn really well.
I've been working on Vlada stuff while we've been doing this, and I am now up to 50 pre-orders for the new comic book.
Congrats.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then the next one, which I got to be honest with you, I love the Eric Powell covers. I think these just capture the aesthetic of all 3 of this so great. Like I love his art. He's just fantastic. Moving on. Just had to say that. I was like, I didn't think Ash's deadite hand could be any more terrifying, and then I'm like, yeah, that's pretty. Like, someone's got to trim those fingernails.
By the way, Amanda in our other group chat is asking if anyone's watching Lock and Key. I guess the new season has debuted.
No,
really? I didn't know that.
I hope it gets another season, but that first season was a little rough to get through. But I mean, I hope it gets another season.
I heard that their comics, they're linking that into Lucifer somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Sandman. Yeah. They did only 2 issues. They're going to be coming out in a trade hardcover. So if you have all the hardcovers that look like that are really well stylized, it's just 2 issues. They were like $5.99 comics, so they're really thick. But yeah, out of all the crossovers they could do, Sandman is the only one that made any sense to do with Lock and Key. Just because of the weirdness of Sandman matches it. The Crow could possibly, but I wouldn't even go that far. But Sandman absolutely was probably the only crossover you could do. I mean, you could do crossovers with G.I. Joe and Transformers and My Little Pony and Ghost and whatever, all those properties every 5 minutes you want to, because it's toys playing with toys. And just in terms of stuff that makes sense.
Is it really toys playing with toys?
Huh?
Is it really toys playing with toys?
When you do G.I. Joe and Transformer crossover, yeah, it's just toys playing with toys.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, they've done Thundercats and He-Man. They've done He-Man and Injustice, by the way. Yes, they did an Injustice one.
Well, they've done Transformers and Ghostbusters.
Yes, they did. They did Transformers. Oh, and I have sitting in my pre-order right now on Amazon. They have Jurassic Park Transformers coming out, where the T-Rex and the Jeep transform. You know you want it, Leo. You know you want to buy it. You want it so badly.
Jeez, I just no.
And by the way, there's Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon Transformers coming out. The Universal Monsters Transformers.
Sure, why not?
Hey, Dracula looks awesome. He transforms into a character named Draculus, and it's not like Bela Lugosi. It's like a Decepticon that looks like he transforms into a vampire bat. And when he's a Decepticon, yeah, he's got a very Dracula style to him. But it makes sense. It's not like the stupid Star Wars Transformers where it was the Millennium Falcon transforming into Han Solo.
Listen, just not all crossovers of Transformers work. Like the Ghostbusters one worked, the Back to the Future one surprised me. The Terminator one was awful.
That was really bad. That was
that was not good. But back to this. But
speaking of crossovers that are good or bad.
But then the fact that you have, but this is where I feel like Rich, I agree with you. This is where I feel like Freddy monologuing got a little much to me, because yes, it's really cool because Leo, next page. You have the blood Freddy's dancing like it's Army of Darkness. And then I was like, that's probably the coolest way I've ever seen Freddy make an entrance, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
The whole thing, like, I found it so funny that Freddy is introducing himself and Ash is like, okay, I'm supposed to be impressed. Like, what? Who are you? Like, you look like an asshole. So it's just, like I said, but there were some scenes I was just like, all right, let's just move on. And then, and then Ash learns what we all learned, like, oh, what happens in the dream world affects you in the real. Like, But of course we had to have somebody die in the dreams because Freddy's got to still have his thing. Do
you remember in Freddy versus Jason, they said Freddy only kills like one person the entire film, and that was the big disappointment for a lot of people. That was a huge aggravation for people. Freddy killed only one person and like slashed at a couple. I'm like, who did he kill? Oh, that's right, he killed. Is it the stoner? It's like I don't even remember who the hell he killed. Jason killed everybody.
It was the stoner because he possessed him, and then Jason killed him. But
No, then Jason killed him, not Freddy.
Yeah, but then it was just like, eh. But I mean, what a horrible way to go. Death by dodgeball.
Yeah.
But still.
Did you say lame?
Death by dodgeball.
Lame.
Yes, it is lame.
After a concrete dodgeball, see if you think it's lame. Let me throw one at you.
This is the
Or
power
maybe
glove.
they're bowling balls.
This is the Power Glove Freddy again. This is just the.
Yeah. So moving on. So we have the remainder of Ash's team, and it's like Ash, like most of you are gonna die. Then you have the scariest thing where they try to set a trap, and it does not go well.
Yeah, stick with me, kids. You'll all be all right if you just follow the rules. You're all dead. All dead.
All dead.
All dead.
Dead by dawn.
You'll be dead by dawn.
But yeah, and what's the thing I find it funny, like, we have the Necronomicon. We didn't see really any Deadites. I mean, then we're gonna get to that in a minute. That's the one thing I always find amusing is that Jason is very much a slow moving character. Like, he is not stealthy at all. You always hear the crunching footsteps. Yet, how does he keep sneaking up on people?
Did you play the game? Because they answered that.
Oh, they did. I did not know that.
Yeah. So when he's like going in for a kill, he's moving like a real person, but he can like instantly warp wherever he can see.
He's
So,
Nightcrawler from the X-Men. Drew.
Yeah. So he like fast travels. Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of Bamps, we get.
However, the more logical, non-stupid explanation was explained in the 2009 remake, where there are tunnels underneath Crystal Lake, and he just pops up from them. Easiest explanation than teleporting.
Right.
Well, I mean, if he's a ghost, like,
but he's not a ghost. He's a zombie. Even before that, he was a real human being.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to quote Hatchet, and I was like, he's a repeater. Okay, comes back, repeater, whatever. But I'm sorry, I love this scene of Jason just.
Oh yeah, he's like the T-1000 after Sarah Connor shoots him, and he's just like. Jason getting his mask blown off and showing the really crusty, nasty looking face or whatever is that make I do remember in Freddy versus Jason, we never really got to see Jason's face clearly. It was very much in shadow when they lift the mask off to give him CPR because it's gross. But this like image of him with his mask off is the most disgusting, terrifying part of the whole comic.
Right. And then like again, you have Freddy bonding with the Necronomicon. I was like, oh boy, this can't go well. And then it's funny because then you have like the demonic Freddy, which kind of reminded me of, and I feel like it might have been a reference to him in New Nightmare a little. Like,
yeah, in New Nightmare, he's no longer Freddy Krueger, like,
entity.
played by Robert Englund, a character in a movie. He is a demon personified by our energy love of Freddy.
Yeah.
It's an actual urban legend that if you believe in something hard enough and enough people do, it will come to life. That was what confused a lot of people when they announced the plotline of A New Nightmare was going to be like this demon infiltrating people in the real world. They were like, wait, what about Freddy? And they're like, okay, so this demon is Freddy Krueger. He is this, he's taken this form of this iconic person that, because don't forget, Freddy goes on like the talk show with Heather, and Robert in the makeup as Freddy. And, he's like playing to the crowd, hey, you're all my children now. Woo, we love Freddy. And she says he's become like a Santa Claus. And that's what basically has made him real. And
it's become like a Santa Claus.
Wes Craven playing himself goes into a big explanation about how Freddy has become real, that he is seeing Freddy everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly why a lot of people absolutely love A New Nightmare, because it does take it to the only other level left to take Freddy. He had just done everything except for going to space, and thank God we have never done Freddy in space.
welcome to my world, bitch. But for me,
One small step for me.
Yeah, exactly. No. God damn it. Hellraiser, Jason, Leprechaun. Oh, by the way, the new Machete is supposed to be out next year. Machete Kills in Space.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, okay, I'm good.
I know Leo's going to be first in line for that movie.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. But Freddy, this was an interesting way for Freddy to use the Necronomicon, bringing back all of Jason's victims. And I was just like, oh, the one that you see there in the corner, that's from part 5. I remember that kid. That's the kid who got like blinded and strapped, like he got like his head crushed because someone went from behind and pulled him against a tree and then started twisting. So I was just like, oh wow, like again, attention to detail. And you just like, again, you see all this, you see kids and whatnot, and then just as long as Jason has his trusty machete, he can do no wrong. You know, and then they're so focused that they were like, where's my book?
When you said trusty machete, you remind me of the guy from Jason X, where he's just like, don't worry, guys, he just wanted his machete back. And I'm like, oh my God, that got put in the movie. Did somebody really okay that to be left in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then it's even, and then what I love here is you have the trees coming to life again. And you even have Ash calling Freddy out. And he's like, get your own ideas. Stop borrowing mine. You know, although I have to be honest with you, Necronomicon possessed crows, like it should be creepy. It's not here. This is just like, I was just like, all right, I got to give Ash some new scars now. So let's just, all right, moving this along.
Yeah, but I just, then it sets up this scene with Ash just like, he's not biting the head off, but he's just, you know.
Chicken wings.
Yeah.
And it spits it back out.
Is it Chick-fil-A chicken wings?
No, it's not.
No, it's Popeyes.
But of course, Ash has that. And then Ash has that cool moment where he shoots the crow because he's got to have that, you know, Army of Darkness moment.
Hail to the king, birdies. Hail to the king.
Yeah, I'm done with you. Hitchcock, he's not. Oh yeah, more, and then of course Ash is always, oh man, I couldn't save you. I'll avenge you, and I'm like, this guy is basically immortal by now. Although I'm sorry, I got to be honest with you, that Freddy's face in the sky, all billowy and fiery, I was like, that is terrifying.
That was badass, yeah.
Yeah,
very Mephistopheles.
Yeah, and it's funny because when he's terrorizing, I think Carrie, it's the survivor girl, and he does the. Like he mentions God and he does this is my body and everything. I felt like that was parodying, or not parodying, kind of referencing the first movie when he does the, you know, oh God, he's like, this is God. And then of course we have the book explaining, the Necronomicon is responsible for Jason because Jason is a Deadite, which I've never understood, but.
Platu Brata. Sorry.
Chris, you know you got to stop reading that.
I love the fact, since we're on the subject of the Necronomicon, you can go to a Barnes & Noble, go on Amazon, go on Goodreads, and buy a copy of the Necronomicon yourself and have your own, you know, incantation, ritual, summoning of demon bullshit on Halloween night coming up. For $7.99, you can own the Necronomicon. Full of spells and sorcery, witchcraft, and wizardry to summon shit.
$7.99?
$7.99. Yeah, I mean, actually, you can. I'm looking on Amazon right now. You can find it used for $4.82. So
it's true.
Plus shipping and handling.
Nice.
Hey.
You do realize the Necronomicon book at Amazon or at Barnes and Noble should be in the humor section of their bookstore, not in the occult and spiritual section, because it's a book full of bullshit. If somebody actually, and I'm sure some jackass out there bought that, tried to summon some demons and do some shit in the world, we would have heard about it. It would have happened. It would be all over the news. But it's a book full of bullshit that doesn't work, and it should be in the humor section. I would love to find the person who took the time to write that 300-page book.
You mean the War of the Worlds, Nikto, Vlatu, Kalaba? whatever it was, is not actually magical.
Yep.
Right, and it's in English too, and there's a copyright for it too. So someone copyright that copy. I'm trying to find my copy right now. I have a copy of the Necronomicon.
What was that? The DVD cover, Chris, that you were handing up?
Oh
before?
yeah, this is the one of the 2 original DVDs that came out. This is the Evil Dead 2 version. It is falling apart. This plastic stuff does start wearing up after a while. Unfortunately, the eye scream doesn't work anymore, but it does have those pages in it that are supposed to be inked in blood, or you can fill out your own notes. See the blank pages?
I don't want to see my name in there. All I'm gonna say, because then I'll know who to blame, and I'm coming for you.
No, only my enemies.
That's fair. He's got a few. Again, like, even I have to say, like, these guys tied everything nice. Like, we're back at Elm Street. You got the Elm Street house. You got the little girls with the jump rope, and then of course that gets. But it's funny because rereading this, I was like, I still really love this series, but I do say that this just kind of started dragging a little for me, and I was just kind of like, can we get to the big battle? You know, like this, like, oh, we're on Elm Street. Oh, we're in the woods, and I'm just like, I feel like we're checking all these things off, but I just, it was like waiting for Batman and Superman to fight. I was like, can we just get? That's what it's about. Can we just get to that, please?
Wait, it's not about Martha?
Where he takes the knife and sticks it in his stump. That's like the best progression of Jason's character, I guess. There's not a lot of character development you can do with a guy who's, a mute zombie, super zombie. It's really like absurd. But so they do the knife in the stump, and he's got that's honestly my favorite part.
Yeah, and then this is fine, but I just feel like, again, because we're not seeing them, like like reading it, you can hear the little 1, 2, but it's just like an aesthetic. I was like, yes, they're extensions of Freddy, cool. And then, again, what I just love is that even with Jason has brains, he still is like, I'm still coming for you, Freddy. Like he can't just wander aimlessly. He's got to find something to kill or destroy. And then just like Chris said,
by the way, these knives I'm holding up, I found these in a yard sale here in Framingham.
That is
what is it? Oh, the knife.
The knife. These are custom painted knives.
Those are cool.
Those are cool. Oh, wow. I didn't realize. Wow. That is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What'd you pay for those, Chris?
$5 at a yard sale.
$5 each? $5 each or $5 for all 3?
All 4.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sorry. Here's Mike Myers.
Wow.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I thought it was going to be, he was going to have his catchphrase, yeah, baby, but no.
Yeah. I hate
so was that Michael Myers or was it actually Captain Kirk?
Oh, that was Captain Kirk after coming back from space. He went on a little kill happy spree in that new movie.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
By the way, this is the novelization of Freddy versus Jason. This novel is worth like $50.
Is it good?
I mean, it's just the movie made into a novel. So if you love or hate the movie, it's up to you.
Nice. All right, but
it's not anything. I'm a big fan of movie novelizations. There is a documentary coming out about movie novelizations. Alan Dean Foster, who's written many of them, has an entire book out about all the ones he's ever done. And I'm writing an article for Horror Hound about movie novelizations. Nice.
But also, this was a great, I agree with Chris. This was a great progression, like Ash literally blew off part of Jason's iconic mask. And then we see that is an ugly fucking mug. But not only that, but like he burned off some of Jason's flesh. So I think that this version of Jason is like, some people say, oh, the ultimate form. I'm like, I think this is his most terrifying. The half demon mask with the stump machete hand. I was like, geez, this is terrifying.
A little bit.
So and we keep moving.
I mean, if I ever had my hand or arm chopped off, I would definitely get a accessory thing going on. I've met a couple of people who have a couple different accessories.
What I just love is that yet again you have Ash is just like, can you guys stop stealing my ideas? He sees the chainsaw hand, is like, oh, okay,
Do you remember in the video game Splatterhouse, which we have talked about on here before? There is a character in it that's got like 2 chainsaw hands, and they fight a guy who's got like a hockey mask. That's the main character.
Yeah. Always a hockey mask, my dude.
Glad we're on issue 6 because I got to cut out at 9:30.
Yeah, don't worry. We're this is pretty easy to wrap up. I mean, like I said, I just love that this entire battle happened on the frozen Camp Crystal Lake. Like, what a wonderful, I don't want to say symmetry, but it's kind of ironic. You know, it all comes back to Crystal Lake.
It all comes back to Elm Street.
Yeah. But I got to be honest, like, at some point, I just wanted this battle to end. Like, even I was getting tired of Freddy. I was like, okay, Freddy with the power of a god. I'm like, okay. We know it's not going to last.
They also drew him a lot more red. This is his demon Freddy. I mean, he's like bright red.
Yeah. So that threw me off a little too. So I was like, and like it's like you said, it's straight up demon Freddy. Just what's the best way to defeat Freddy Krueger? I'm going to hit him with my car.
But wasn't the car destroyed earlier, or is this a different car?
No, different colored car. That one was tan. This one is gold. Get it right, Leo.
No, it's the same car. You can see the windshield is smashed. It's been damaged. So
yeah, but it still runs because Ash, Mr. Sentimental, and you gotta love the fact that Freddy was gonna punish Jason by sending him to the Deadite dimension. He was like, this is perfect for you. You'll just kill them all.
Killing in the name of Freddy.
But was I reading that wrong, or wasn't he sort of tricking himself? Wasn't he going to go to hell too if he got the 3 words out?
No. Well, can I just address something? I always find it funny that the Necronomicon is supposedly like a book of spells and stuff. We've only ever heard one spell. Like, do you guys ever wonder that? We only ever saw one spell, the Klaatu Verada Nikto. Like, we never heard any other spells. I don't even know if Rudy.
No, in the remake, there's a whole section where he's reading it.
Oh, okay.
But also on the tape deck, the professor is reading a different spell. He's reading something as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I meant. The professor.
And Lucy Lawless's character on the TV series, she read a lot of it because she is a Kandorian demon as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the woman who wrote. Oh yeah, she's the woman who wrote the Necronomicon.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Did they say Freddy was a Kandarian demon? In this, am I wrong?
Yeah, no. They basically established that Freddy has the power. Like he basically part of, like, he's kind of Kandarian enhanced. Like Jason is essentially a Deadite, but Freddy his powers are elevated Kandarian style. So he's like a Kandarian demon, but not a Deadite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a Kandarian demon, Rich. Jeez, don't be such a demonist.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
I will say this scene
Not
where
all
Ash...
demons are the same. Some have feelings.
Shut up, Chris, you and your fake news.
Oh God. I will say that scene
Demon
with
lives
Ash...
matter.
Children. Let father speak.
Sorry, Drew. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm waiting for that to open a movie. Demon lives matter.
But I was just saying that's a pretty cool image of, you see the hole that Ash blew through Jason. I was like, it's gonna heal eventually. Like, again, I think this is it was a logical ending. You have, again, these two guys are so caught up in their own battle that they underestimate Ash, which is what anybody typically does. They read the book, a portal opens, Freddy gets sucked into the Deadite dimension. Jason ends up at the bottom of Camp Crystal Lake with the book. Ash wins. We move on, but of course, that's it. We have the closest we get to a happy ending for Ash, and then the traditional ambiguous, there's got to be a sequel ending.
That's right.
Oh my God, voice actor died.
Oh, which one?
Christopher Ayers. He was best known as Frieza in Dragon Ball.
Oh, damn. I know some Dragon Ball friends are going to be sad by that. But I mean, again, I was the one who recommended this. I love this series. I think it's by far one of my favorite horror crossovers. So honestly, this was to me, in my mind, is the same as how I felt when I read Hatchet versus Hack Slash. Like, just a great crossover that is an appropriate homage to the story, but moves it along in a way that made sense. Does it have flaws? Sure. But it's still a fun read, you know? And we didn't get the movie, but this is still pretty damn good in my mind. So.
Yeah, and we're never gonna get the movie. I mean, everything is gonna be tied up in litigation for forever.
We will
so
never ever see a movie about this.
Yeah. Chris,
This
I know
comic felt like it was a perfect setup for a movie, that's for sure.
Yeah. And it's something that, you know, since it was so well written, you could easily hear the actors in your mind as you're reading it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Chris, I know you need to go. So we'll start with you on a score of 1 to 5. Sledgehammer, not sledge.
Machete.
We'll go with machetes, yeah. Well, how about a machete crowbar mix? Machete with a crowbar handle.
2.
2.
2. Wow.
It's not a 0.
He's a harsh critic, guys.
Velvet Joker.
I'm gonna say 3.5.
3.
Because this was such it felt so classic 80s horror. Like, they captured the essence, which maybe the writing was not fantastic, but I felt that was a big plus for this series.
Sounds good. I'm gonna give it 3.75. You know, it's I really enjoyed it, but I agree it dragged on quite a bit. You know, and I'm a big Ash fan, so it's just Freddy I could have definitely done without. I'm not a Freddy fan, but it was a good read. It was enjoyable. I blew through it all in one evening. And Drew, since this was your pick, you will have the final word, my friend.
You know, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because I love this. I love this book. I've always recommended it to fans of horror, but upon rereading it, there are certain things that I felt dragged. I could have done without. Like, you've said it, Chris said it. I could have done with a little less overly the top ridiculous Freddy. I mean, if you think that's crazy, Nightmare Warriors is a whole other level of shit. Chris, calm down. But again, it's just a fun book, and you know, I felt the same way I did when I watched a movie. I was entertained. I was rooting for my heroes / villains. You know, people died, blood was spilled, evil was vanquished in some way, but it's coming back. And hail to the king, baby.
Awesome. Chris, where do you like people interacting with you?
They can find me over on the they can go pre-order the new Vlada comic book. Since we're talking about comic books and horror.
And where do we do that, Chris?
Vlada, a Dracula Tale on Facebook or on the Etsy store, or they can PM me, thatradiohorror@gmail.com. And Drew and I just put up the newest episode of Cosmic Spider-Man Part 3 over in the Spectacular Sal Buscema era podcast.
Awesome.
We will be recording Part 4 coming up soon, but Part 3 just got posted today, which has Cosmic Spider-Man fighting the Grey Hulk.
Oh, very cool.
And
Very
Goliath and a couple other lame villains. But he fights the Hulk, drawn by Tom McFarlane.
Nice.
True story.
I love that. I love that cover. Drew.
Oh, hi. I'm Drew Mallow. When I'm not here at Splash Pages, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at GhostbusterMan1984. I work with these guys. I work with the Psycho and the Hockey Mask on his show, the Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm also working with him as well. I do a lot of stuff. And, well, you know, I might talk to you too, but give me a reason.
Velvet Joker.
Every Tuesday, you can catch me here at Splash Pages. Or you can catch me on the internet. But I'm not going to tell you where. You can figure it out. You've watched this show enough times. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, you can just check the show notes up above or down below with, depending on where you're watching or listening to us for all the information there. My name is Leo. Just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. But more importantly, follow these awesome, talented people. And I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network, about 40 shows on the network. A lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Some big stuff coming. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Night, night, kiddos.
Bye.